Hang on. What the hell? Is this sword this friggin' retarded?
Shadiversity.
Ratings, I'm Shad.
And greetings, I'm Tyrant.
Dune. We're going to be talking about the swords.
Part 1 and 2 were fantastic, though.
Yeah, I was on the fence of part 1 because of the ending, but I was like, I had enough of a conclusion. I needed to see where I was going in part 2. I enjoyed part 2 more than part 1. I thought part 2 was great. And now trailer has dropped. Dune part 3 is on its way. And because it's on its way, Tyrant, it's time that we talk about the swords.
Yeah, we've been meaning to do this for a while, actually. I remember not long after we did the actual Dune knife video.
Right here, we got a dedicated video on...
I specifically wanted to look at the Sardaukar long swords because I hate them.
Well, that's kind of the takeaway, is that outside of a couple of exceptions, like, you know, the sandworm knife.
I like it,
it's great.
It's got no guard.
Yeah.
And especially when it's like a dueling knife, when they're actually fighting hand-to-hand with these. It's just like, and it's so easy.
Even having like a single catch thing like a jute or something like that could be really helpful if you're dueling with these things.
Yeah. And the thing is, with the other knife that he's fighting against, which is the Emperor's knife, even that doesn't have a guard. So like, we'll get to it. We will get to it
because we have a dedicated review on the sandworm dagger. Check it out. And I've even talked about the whole concept of Dune combat with the shields. And I love it. I love the whole idea with the shields, which brings back melee weapons again into a sci-fi setting. And the unfortunate thing is that there was such great opportunity to make such awesome looking sci-fi swords and weapons. And instead, well, this is what we got here.
Because like I would describe this as Mall Ninja.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure why. I feel like that's what's interesting, is that if you're in a sci-fi universe where you can create a lot of things, it's like, would you go for the katana wrap handle? I feel like this is just purely katanas.
Yeah,
right?
Katanas are cool, man.
But so to be fair, the wrap on a katana is a very nice handle.
It isn't? I mean, there are. Like it is, but it's not. There are other handles that are equivalently nice.
The thing is, right, I could see in the future choosing to go with a wrap like this because you do get a lot of purchase, you get a lot of grip. It's actually really not that bad.
Well, this one is particularly nice because it's made out of silk. This is like the nicest katana wrap.
But what I'm talking about is like the design, right? I could see that, right? Personally, I don't know if I'd go with it, but I can see it. It's just the blade shapes and geometries that we've got here.
Because you brought up the handle material, right? Let's actually talk a bit about this setting-wise. These are mass-produced, military-grade, weapons equipment given out, right? Having a wrap, which needs to be hand kind of, so they would have like machines that could do it, right? But still, it's an additional cost that if they just had like a casting handle with a texture or grip, injection cast, plastic molding, whatever, right, of advanced material.
Which is actually more, that is realistic for modern manufacturing.
Yeah, it would be more durable.
Does that one have one? I swear that one has one. Yeah, that one right there.
This one actually, like, funnily enough, I have a knife which is very similar to the Dune weapons, and I'll be using this as a point of reference as to talking about
it's trash.
How, because this knife is dog crap.
Well, I just feel like we should say what they are.
Well, let me finish my thing, is that you could make a handle cheaper, just as good for mass manufacture, amongst all things, by making it like a wrapped material thing is pointless, adds costs to something that needs to be made thousands of for all your soldiers. No point. I don't like it.
Sure.
Yeah.
All of the blades in Dune just look like cut out pieces, literally just like there's a reason why we said Mall Ninja right at the start, because that's just kind of what they look like. Like this is a Mall Ninja type knife.
And do you know how much this cost?
Like $20.
I think less. This was like such a cheap piece of crap. I bought it out of pure like curiosity.
And you know what's funny? We could turn this into a Dune themed knife by just putting like a little swedge here, and then it would
literally be that.
Exactly the same. There
are so many reasons that explain why this knife is dog crap. And when we look at the Dune main swords that we see a lot of the is it the Atreides are using?
Yeah. Oh no, the Sardaukar use them. I think all of them use them.
It's very common, and Duncan's sword is a little bit different, a little bit the same.
Well, Duncan's the one's in the middle.
Is the middle one. Okay. All right. This looks like a flat bit of steel with an edge put on. Literally what this piece of crap is. All right. This is a flat bit of just steel with an edge and handle.
No fullers.
Nothing's.
The geometry is very simple, just right angles.
Yeah. Yeah.
Single edge in a lot of cases. And when I say single edge, like we have a look at that top one, right? It obviously does have that false edge on the back, but it has a point that obviously comes to. So we say that is more of a single edged blade, even though it does technically have a second edge.
So a couple of issues with it, right? You can see the size of bevel on these blades, and because it's similar to this, the thickness is probably going to be about the same. The actual edge angle doesn't look to be that thin,
refined,
or refined. And if they had a wider bevel, you could have it like a much thinner, more narrow angle, which would make it cut so much better. Right.
Another one of my big gripes with a lot of the designs is no guards. There's no hand protection, and especially when you're getting into like
melee
combat
with other blade swords.
Yeah,
right.
That's the context. Like maybe your shield
even
can account for it. Yeah, even a
super would be better than what we have here. And we have been critical of super because a crossguard is so much better.
And keep in mind, a guard doesn't necessarily just act as like a defensive item. In the most basic context, it's still going to stop your hand slipping onto the blade and cutting your fingers off. Like, for example, this one here, right? I wouldn't say it's the most thrust-centric to begin with, but it does have this contouring here. So at the very least, you have something. With a lot of these designs, it's like...
We're talking about kind of this one specifically, the Duncan sword, right? And it has a bit of a lip, but not all of them have that.
But even that lip, right, it how to describe this? It's a right-angled kind of... Like, it's angled so that you could fall onto the blade.
Yeah.
Not kind of like a choil that goes backwards.
This has got a bit more of a flat, like you could still do it, but
it's a lot harder, right?
But we saw one of the other designs, right? Like this barely has anything. The bottom sword barely has anything. And the top one does have a cross. Sorry, a super. That's not a cross.
But the top one, I don't know. I didn't see that.
I don't remember seeing that either.
Yeah,
actually.
so I don't know about that one.
But the one that we really see a lot of is Duncan's sword.
Yeah.
And it is a piece of crap. I hate it.
Okay. This image down the bottom looks like some AI-generated image, but look at how he's holding it. He's actually holding it where his fingers are on the side that doesn't have the choil.
Is
his
it AI?
thumb.
I'm not sure this is AI.
I think it is.
It does look like it's been superimposed into the hand.
That's true. Yeah.
Because the...
But again, you look at which way the actual point is facing.
Hang on. What the hell? Is this sword this freaking retarded? So, what I've just noticed is just thrown me. Okay, conventionally, let's explain something here. The lip that you would have that would prevent any, potential sliding onto the blade is going to be in the face of your primary edge.
Yeah.
All right? That's the configuration you would expect. No. This sword here
is the opposite.
Its primary edge here is on the opposite side to the lip, which means, like, what the hell? Like, so it means, like, pretend it would be like this, with the main blade along here and the lip facing your thumb, which means your fingers can literally slide right down and like there's nothing. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
What a piece of crap! I didn't notice that before.
It's a real shame because
it really is.
Everything else in the films, in terms of like their design, I'm like, this is awesome. It's just for some reason with the sword designs, they're like, let's make some more ninja stuff.
Let's make some of the biggest pieces of crap we can. And again, multiple things, right? What is up with this retarded weird thing here? Like, there's literally no point for it.
Well, let's start with some more basic things. Would you expect this sort of weapon in this sort of universe to have at least a thrusting point? Because the point on this is terrible.
Yeah, like it's like, funnily enough, it's like this point. This is a crap thrusting. Could you stab someone with it? Yes.
But I think that looks worse.
Yeah, it does actually. To something like this with look at that thrusting point, right? This is like a thrusting beast. One of the best swords we got, by the way. And night and day. night and day.
Well, I mean, even there, compare it to the Cry's knife.
At least this is actually a proper thrusting.
Exactly. Great. So they've done it with that.
But the full-blown military standard issue weapon is an actual piece of crap with terrible thrusting, terrible edge bevel geometry, no refinement on the blade. It's a flat bit of steel like this, so you don't have any finer like bevel angling or distal taper to help redistribute weight or anything like that. You have this weird bonkers kind of insert thing. You have the guard lip on the opposite side of the blade, and then you have a wrap with no point there at all.
I would say even in the handle, it has no contouring or shape to it. It's just like
just a bar, right? There's no counterbalance or pummel or anything like that, and it's still really short. So you don't.
Yeah, it's a kind of a shorter blade as well. Yeah.
These Dune swords are some of the biggest pieces of crap swords I have ever seen in like sci-fi fantasy.
Yeah.
They're absolutely. So
let's have a look at some more.
Yeah, let's look. This is the worst one. The Duncan sword, the standard issue, kind of sword.
Emperor's knife.
Emperor's knife.
I like this.
Yes, this is much more in line with
that, but like a steel blade.
Steel one. I mean. It doesn't have a huge hilt, so you could slip down onto the blade a bit easier.
True, but I you can see it does taper in a bit, so I think that would give you at least something.
Yeah,
right?
It is something.
The only thing I still don't necessarily like, how to describe this. I don't know how comfortable that handle would be. I don't think it would be uncomfortable, but I don't think
the most comfortable. Yeah. I think that's a fair assessment.
Just because they've kind of gone a bit wacky with a lot of the shapes and geometries. But overall, this is really nice.
That's okay. But
I would just like a lot bigger guard, especially for fighting.
And it's not standard issue though. This is like
the Emperor.
The Emperor has this. There's that piece of crap. I have an actual seething hatred for this now.
Terrible,
this makes me sick just looking at it.
I remember seeing it in the film and I'm like, what are they doing? This looks terrible.
This is ruining the film for me. All right, not that much, but
all right. These ones here
it's
I
hard
found
to see.
Fascinating because these appear in the film for like 3 seconds at the end of part 2.
You can see it, the crossguard here. It's hard to see.
So a lot of the swords are single edge type stuff. They're like what we saw with the Duncan sword, right? And then I glimpsed these on the Sardaukar defending the Emperor, and they were more longsword-ish.
Yeah,
I say ish
because like they have a crossguard. Well, at least we're moving somewhere with them.
They have a longer blade. They seem to have a little bit more of an acuter point.
But this makes the other swords worse because
I know we've already said how bad the other swords are. Let's talk about this sword.
We will get it. But the thing is, though, I was wondering if maybe Duncan's sword is so short because they get so close in combat and stuff like that, and they would therefore logically prefer short-bladed weapons. Clearly not. Clearly not.
Well, I think my bigger gripe is that we obviously have the Fremen come in after this with a whole bunch of knives and somehow beat them.
Yeah, just
anyway,
let's trash them down. Yeah,
a finer acute point, so it probably thrusts better than what we saw before. But again, it's still that slanted to one side, which means that
is this one of these blades here?
Yeah.
So it has a slant to one side.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on, you can't really. Let's get out of the way. So if we're zooming in here, look at this one right here. Slanting to one side at the tip.
I don't know
why
exactly. There's not really a point. It does have like a longer ricasso, kind of like Dark Sister, which
okay with that.
I kind of dig. Right, I think it looks fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
We have that crossguard, which is good.
But this crossguard looks chunky.
Yes, but it's a crossguard that you could probably defend with.
Yes,
at the very least.
At least it's something, right?
But you are right. It does look incredibly chunky, but it does have quillions that slide up.
They do. Okay, there's something. All right. So, look, it's
all over the place.
Yeah, I know. It's not the worst, but it's still pretty bad.
It is pretty
still
bad.
Very bad. It is not. We're not in Duncan sword territory.
I feel like they took the Mall Ninja ones and they went, let's try and make it a little bit more European. And I'm like, okay.
Duncan sword is so bad it's an insult to Mall Ninja one. We've reviewed some Mall Ninja swords that are actually decent.
I reckon this is on the same page.
What about the Fang one?
The Fang
one cut like a beast.
Yeah, but it still like had this same sort of wrap and stuff.
But it had a better handhold to strop the thing.
They're all bad. We are literally talking about
the Fang sword. We've got the review where we test out real Mall Ninja swords. Those swords were better than this.
maybe.
Easy.
Well, this is longer. All right.
Okay.
This one here, I like the most so far. Maybe the longsword one, just because I think you could fight with that one.
Yeah.
This one here is like a machete.
They're redeeming
falchion
themselves a little bit with
type
this one.
deal.
Yeah. This one, honestly, I it's a cleaver.
Yeah.
And cleavers, you don't need too, like, that's where having no refined blade geometry with distal tape and everything like that works in its favor.
Yeah.
This looks like, so again, I'll remove us, right? I can't see a distinct bevel there, which makes it feel like this whole thing is the bevel. This whole part is like a wedge. And if that's the case, that's way better.
I hope, but I don't think that's true because we can see it here. So what it might be is that it's a club part.
Oh.
Like it doesn't actually cut.
No.
Well, because we can see the full edge on the,
I know,
on the
that's
other side.
weird. Like it's got a very distinct bevel on the top.
Yeah, and then
And there's one here and then here.
It just stops.
But again, I really think that looks like this is a wedge. If that's that would be a very fine thing.
We can hope. We can hope.
If it was, good design.
Yeah.
I approve. It's like a falchion almost.
I think this one is reasonable
Yeah.
for what it is, right? It's a big chopper. You can still thrust with kind of the right angle point like you would with an axe type
Mhm.
deal. I reckon the weight would be what you want for this type of blade. And it's not... and the handle has contouring.
Yeah, exactly. Harder to slip down. There's more...
Yeah.
Like, this would be my least hated sword. I still don't like it. Give me a...
But for like a background character and you give it like this sci-fi flair, this I'm okay with.
I'm okay with it.
Everything else I'm like, oh God, yeah, nah.
And this was just like one of the... Like, it's much more standard Maul Ninja, especially with, see the little cutout
Foil,
there?
yeah.
What we see those on Maul Ninja ones a lot.
You see them on real blades.
And real blades. And I don't mind those the things. Like, this is just a standard Maul Ninja type of dagger that I'm okay with.
I think this one would be functional.
Yeah.
This one, like, I personally would never use it, but
I probably wouldn't pick it over other things.
Yeah.
Yeah. But as for it's a knifey.
there's nothing that offends me about this design.
I mean, if I was to, it looks like it's still a flat bit of steel with just a single bevel. Don't like that. But you find those on knives.
But I think this is just a replica.
Yeah.
Like, this is just a...
The bevel does look a bit longer than even the swords.
Because I think in the actual movie, they look a bit more refined.
Yeah. So I'm okay with it, but it doesn't redeem. Like, what about this bottom sword here? Does
I
that?
hate it.
I think I have. It feels more familiar in the film than this top one. I still don't like it. I think it's a lot better than the Duncan sword.
Nah.
It's thinner. It's lighter.
Yeah, but even though the contouring is reversed on the Duncan one, I could just flip that around and try and hold it the other way around. Because this here is the same sort of issue we have with...
What are you looking at here?
Yeah, there's no guard, right? There's no nothing. You can slide straight onto that. And
There's
it
a
goes
lip.
razor...
There's a lip. Still not good.
Sure, bro. Yeah, there's little tiny little things going to stop your hand sliding. No.
And it's still on the wrong friggin' side of the blade. Why? Why?
Yeah, they reversed a lot of stuff, haven't they?
What? It's just bonkers. And it's annoying because I love the Dune films, but these swords are dog crap. And they could have made him look so cool. Have you seen some of the coolest sci-fi sword designs?
Let's explain why it matters. It matters because the entire concept of the Dune fighting is that it has regressed back to melee weapons. And when you regress, if we're going to put it that way, it means that you would optimize your weapons solely to be good at that thing. These weapons are not good weapons just compared to historical weapons, compared to weapons from 300 years ago. These are dog crap. So I'm kind of sitting here going, this breaks my suspension of disbelief because it just doesn't make sense.
No, you're right. If melee combat became so important in main full-blown battle, they would have approached it with as much intention, refinement, and sophistication as the medieval people did. And they would be trying to optimize every single thing about these weapons to give them every edge they could have in combat.
Yeah.
And so we're talking about not only cross guards, maybe even catching hooks and things like that.
Well, I mean, I would take just a standard katana over all of these.
Oh, but they're not. And then you get something like this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because then we can go like, would you take a rapier? Would you take this or that? Like,
they should all be around.
Yeah.
Like, because the thing is, what's really interesting about the Dune universe, the types that there'll be still heaps of different styles of combat. One-on-one, multiple, unit formation, full-blown melee. And in all those situations, different swords have different strengths.
Yes. But we're looking at katana wraps and single-edged blades. So I'm like, I would take a katana over all of the fantasy space ones.
The sword that they're kind of alluding to, right?
Yeah.
The actual one that they're drawing inspiration from is just better on every front than these pieces of Mall Ninja crap.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's a letdown because I love the films.
Yeah.
Why?
We've been meaning to do this one for a long time, but we just never got around to it.
Oh my
so much
God.
so that now
It's all built up.
The third one's coming out.
Yeah, right. Oh, but I'm looking forward to the third one, and maybe there'll be something to review, like combat fighting or something like that.
I'm sure there'll be something.
Yep. But if you're like, guys, check out our review of the Sandu dagger. This one is actually like it's the only really. Again, it's missing a cross guard thing, but it's much better than everything else, isn't it? Check out our video on that. Hope to see you there. Thanks for watching, and until next time.